There's a lot of debate as whether this should be classed as a derby. Certainly the atmosphere would suggest it is, but many people would suggest this is more about north against south. I'm inclined to agree, but what an atmosphere we have on this Friday night. A sold-out crowd. Swansea City have sold out their away end. Around 1,200 fans have made the journey north. September 2002, the last time these two met here in a league fixture. Wrexham winning by 4 goals to 0. Well, Swansea have really got it together in recent times, and the door towards the top 6 has begun to creep open for them. In the reverse fixture, it was those in white who prevailed. And here they come. 8 years ago, they lived in different footballing worlds. Wrexham in the National League, Swansea in the Premier League, one fighting to be seen, the other rubbing shoulders with the elite. Tonight they meet as equals in a championship clash, carrying the weight of ambition on both sides of the Welsh border. Wrexham 6th, dreaming of a 4th successive promotion. Swansea trying to prove their revival has real distance in it, and that the playoffs are not simply a possibility, but a destination. A crackling atmosphere in North Wales tonight. What a way to start this championship weekend. Plenty of star power in the boardrooms of both, but fame does not win football matches, players do. So the team news, Phil Parkinson makes a couple of changes. Ryan Longman is replaced by Issa Kabore, and Ollie Rathbone comes in for Josh Windass. It's been an eventful week for Arthur Okonkwo, an own goal against Chelsea, a penalty save in midweek, and earlier this season a horrible error that led to Swansea's last-minute winner. George Dobson still suspended, so in midfield Zach Viner continues alongside Lewis O'Brien, who finished last season on loan with the Swans, and with Kiefer Moore the latest to join a lengthy injury list. Sam Smith continues up front. He's got 6 goals in his last 10 in all competitions. Swansea also make 2 changes. Jay Fulton and Omji Sung drop to the bench as Marco Stamenic and Gustavo Nunes come in. Lawrence Figu is one of the Championship's leading keepers this season, 11 clean sheets and the second highest amount of saves. Josh Key is getting back to his best after a tough spell. He scored the other night. Ethan Galbraith capped another fine display with the other. Ronaldo Nunes will play either side of the league's top scorer Jan Popotnik, who scored in the reverse fixture. 13 of his 17 championship goals have come at home. So Sam Smith once again leading the line for Wrexham this evening, in the absence of Kiefer Moore, who will be out for weeks to come, we are told, and Kiefer Moore is here as a spectator. Popotnik, he had a sluggish first season, anything but this time around. He is on fire and could become the 7th Swansea player to score at least 20 goals this century, after Lee Trundle, Jason Scotland, Joel Peru, Scott Sinclair, Ollie McBurney and Michu. Vitor Matos, who has dragged Swansea out of the depths of relegation trouble into the playoff conversation. And Phil Parkinson stands on the brink of a quite remarkable feat, leading Wrexham to a 4th successive promotion. Tom Neild, our referee, gets this all-Welsh collision underway. Wrexham in the red, kicking from left to right in the opening half. And we are expecting an edge to the game, just as there was in South Wales earlier in the season. Cabore on to Clyweth. Here is Zach Viner operating in that midfield area. Didn't have the best of games the other night, and Wrexham have turned it over. And here comes Swansea. It's Franco. Okonkwo, well placed. Gonzalo Franco pouncing as an errant pass went across the pitch, but he made that easy for the Wrexham goalkeeper. Cameron Burgess playing at the back for Swansea, who scored an own goal on these two last minute. There he is again to hook that one clear. Smith. Franco again. It's a good looking ball as well, trying to get Ronaldo away, and he's got clear. Ronaldo struggling to keep it in play, but managed to nip in ahead of Callum Doyle. Franco going long. Flight of the ball gave Doyle a problem, and fortunately for him, the Brazilian unable to keep it in play. Set up Shan Vopotnik's goal the other night. Wrexham here hoping to avoid consecutive league defeats for only the second time this season. It last occurred in the opening weeks of the campaign when they were beaten by Southampton and West Bromwich Albion. They have won two of their last three here against Ipswich and Portsmouth. Pumped away by Burgess. Clyweth puts that into touch with Gustavo Nunes close by. Here is Josh Tymon, having a fabulous campaign at left back for Swansea. 9 assists, only Gustavo Harmer of Sheffield United has had more than him. Launched long by Vigouroux. Well, Swansea, known for being a possession-based team, but they've taken more of a direct approach in the early stages here. Bango nipping across before Rathbone could even think about getting that under control. Well, Phil Parkinson has faced Swansea as a manager 9 times before and not won any of them. As Viner strides forward, shifted wide now to Cabore. Inviting cross, Burgess first to it. Nunes, now Ethan Galbraith. Hammered long, and behind it goes for a Swansea goal kick. Well, his absence is a huge blow for Wrexham, but also potentially for Wales as well. No specified time given in terms of how long he'll be out for, but the signs are not good for Kiefer Moore, who picked up an injury in that gruelling FA Cup tie with Chelsea last weekend. We are expecting further clarity on Kiefer Moore's condition after the game tonight from Phil Parkinson. Nunes, slightly behind Ronaldo, who did well to keep it in play. Now Josh Key, who is playing like the player that we all know he can be after what was a challenging start to the campaign. He's come through that tough spell. Scored a nice goal the other night, albeit with the aid of a slight deflection. That's Cleworth looking to get Smith in behind. Cabango goes out to engage. Drops here to Kabore. Rathbone quickly in and fizzes the cross in. Cabango behind it and helped on its way by Timon. Dom Hyam will leave it for Arthur Okonkwo. Lewis O'Brien is feeling a little bit of heat from the Swansea fans, having represented them in the second half of last season. Here come the Swans. Lovely play from Ronald, just a teasing cross in towards the Potnick. And Wrexham able to clear it. And Ronald whipping up the travelling Jack Army. Swansea with 5 wins in their last 8 league matches. It's the away form that they really need to address, though. Home form has been superb, unbeaten in their last 10 on their own patch. But they've lost 9 of their last 12 on their travels. Here's the New Zealander Stamenic. Ethan Galbraith, who was outstanding in the reverse fixture, played at right back on that occasion, but so often drifted into midfield and caused Wrexham no end of problems. Vigouroux on the ball now, who actually made his professional debut against Wrexham for Hyde United in an FA Cup 4th qualifying round defeat in 2013 against Wrexham. As Franco lifts it through, and Hyam able to nick it away. But more encouraging signs for the Swans. Players Player of the Year and Supporters Player of the Year last season, Gonzalo Franco. Galbraith switching it right to left, gathered by Nunez. It's a decent looking ball, may have gone out actually. There's going to be a Wrexham ball on loan from Brentford. Gustavo Nunez, quick, light on his feet, he glides across the turf. Well, here we see the opening for Gonzalo Franco, and Hyam quickly across to turn it clear. Broadhead, oh, really good play. Steered wide now for Kabore, who slings it in there. And the looping header is tipped away by Vigouroux. Well, Broadhead, who very much started this move, very nearly finished it. It's a lovely ball in from Kabore, free header for Broadhead, and tipped away by Vigouroux to a Wrexham corner. May well have been heading wide, but Vigouroux not prepared to take any chances with it. Ollie Rathbone with this corner for Wrexham. Right over Vigouroux. Gets a firm hand on it. Galbraith. Cabango. Swansea have settled really nicely into this game. It's a lovely ball from Galbraith. Nunez. Potnick has made his move. So too had Timon. Goal kick. despite the claims for a corner from Timon. It's a great underlapping run from Timon. And that is only just over the line. That is incredibly tight. Place has not been a happy hunting ground for Swansea. They've only ever won once here in 16 visits. Back in March of 1988 it was, when Terry Yorrock was in charge. Ian Love and Robbie James got the goals in a 2-1 win. They know 3 points here can close the gap on Wrexham to just 2. Rathbone cut out by Burgess. Cabango with eyes on that. Stamanic has lost it. George Thomason, who's really excelled in that left wing-back role for Rathbone. Well, he wants a free kick, which is not forthcoming. It's just a ball of fury, Ollie Rathbone. The way he plays has made him such a firm favourite here. Only returned from a knee injury in December, but he is a vital player for Phil Parkinson's team. High up. Unable to reach it, Timon was with him. Smith leading the line again. He actually scored the opening goal in that FA Cup tie with Chelsea last weekend, where Wrexham got their first taste of VAR. Lewis Brunt having a goal disallowed, and VAR also intervened on George Dobson's challenge on Garnacho. Yellow card was upgraded to red, which is why he misses this one, serving the second of a 3-match suspension, George Dobson. And they are light in that midfield area at the moment. No Ben Sheaf, no Matty James either. And Thomason is put on the deck there. Wrexham free kick to be taken by Callum Doyle. Smith in a tussle with Cabango. Been a period of adjustment for George Thomason, not that it's taken him long to get used to that left wing-back role, a midfielder by trade, the former Bolton man, and he's thrived out on the left to step into that position following the injury to Liberato Cacace and the departure of James McLean. And here he is on the ball now, slipping it down the line for Broadhead. More red shirts arriving in the middle, cleared by Galbraith and received by Ronald. A vital touch on that from Doyle, but Ronaldo again getting those Swans fans going over on that far side. Josh Key with ball in hand. Burgess, who's played more minutes than any other Swansea outfield player this season, and coming into this game as well with the second most amount of passes in the Championship, second only to Coventry's Matt Grimes. There he is, guiding that one back to Vigouroux. Burgess. Easily taken by Key. Fizzed in towards Vopotnik. It ran beyond him, and Nunes unable to do much with that. Pumping header from Burgess. O'Brien, Viner, Broadhead, lovely touch. Now fed wide to Thomason, who's got some space to play with. Thomason massively overcooks the cross. No wonder he looks to the heavens. They work that so nicely. So the end product simply wasn't there. Tussle with Hyam. Referee happy to let it go. Here's Franco. Ronaldo. Ronaldo urging Key to give him an option. Stamanic. Cabango joining in. Vopotnik trying to make room for the shot. A few howls for a penalty from those over on the far side. Ronaldo steps round Thomason, drills it across. Here is Stamanic, thought about it, decided against it. Stamanic will leave her in now, and it's flicked away by Cabore and kept alive by Nunes. Plenty of elevation on that, all the way through to Ronaldo, who can't get it under his spell. Well, he has had an excellent start to the game, Ronaldo, over on that Swansea right. Well, there is certainly space to exploit for the two wide men for Swansea, especially given that Wrexham play with a back three. Had Swansea fans screaming for a spot kick, but the referee, I think, has got that one right. Foul on Gonzalo Franco. O'Brien. Viner. Rising for it. Vigouroux, who before tonight had made 115 saves in this championship campaign, second only to Hull's Ivan Pandor. Been really impressive this season. The Swansea goalkeeper, there's Franco, it's a lovely ball through, it's Jan Verparnik, it's a wonderful save from Okonkwo. It should really be 1-0 Swansea. What a gorgeous ball this is. One touch to steady himself, and Okonkwo comes up big for Wrexham. Just struggling to generate the power there, Verparnik. It's the best chance of the game so far. Timon's corner. Time, I think, got something on it. Will carry out for a throw. Burgess not happy with something. Galbraith. Timon. Held down the line by Galbraith. Quite some lovely stuff here tonight. Those in white, Galbraith. How's it go? We'll drop here for Stamenic. Timon, Galbraith, those two combined again, Nunez. Had a clear by Doyle. Swansea keeping the pressure on. It's been an excellent start from them. Timon, it's well wide of the mark. Well, this is why Cameron Burgess was so angry earlier. Well, Dom Hyam has got a fistful of his shirt. Cabango's got some of Doyle's as well. Vito Matos was thrilled with the way that his team controlled the game at Portsmouth in midweek, and they are controlling this so far. Key. He came in November replacing Alan Sheehan. Swansea were 20th and just 4 points above the relegation zone when he first took over, and since then he's won 35 points from his 21 championship games in charge. Little was known about him before he arrived, but we know about him now. Viner. Now Smith will get on this. Viner again. Doyle. Oh, it's a lovely ball and beautifully taken. It's Broadhead. It's a roar from the north. And the third twist in this all-Wales tale goes the way of Wrexham. Beautifully taken by Nathan Broadhead. Wrexham through and through. And listen to the noise in this famous old stadium. round Burgess, chops back inside and strokes it beyond Vigaroo. His 8th goal in all competitions this season. And it's Wrexham 1, Swansea 0. And out of keeping really with how the game has gone so far. And now that effort from Jan Vapotnik that he couldn't take has proved costly for the Swans. Rathbone's throw. There he is, flying into the tackle on Galbraith. From Swansea's point of view, it's just about continuing the way they were playing. They were the team on top, carving out the better openings. One big one, of course, for Jan Vapotnik, with his Wrexham, who have struck first. Galbraith. Swansea's passing has been so crisp, so slick. Timon. Okonkwo's come a long way, and he has got there. Well, 3 points here would stretch the gap from 6th to 7th in the championship table. Wrexham on 57th and 57 in that final playoff spot, and directly below Southampton on 54 coming into tonight's game. That would be a big psychological advantage for Wrexham. They sit back and watch tomorrow's championship games. A long way to go yet. Franco. Josh Key. Ronald. Franco wins the corner. Broadhead with the block. Cabango is in there, so too Cameron Burgess. Timon swings it over, dealt with by O'Brien. Nunes. That's a good cross, Cabango leaping. Well, his touch was the last one. Good delivery from Nunes. getting the better of Doyle. Galbraith. His red shirts funneling back. Run out. Cabango scoops it in. Had a clear by Doyle. And a bit of afters between Franco and Doyle as well. On it goes with Timon. Run out. He'll put it in there as well now. Nunes never looked like reaching that. Well, Nathan Broadhead getting his 8th goal of the season. 7 of them have come here. Scored the other night. You see Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack, who are doing an alternative broadcast in Wales tonight, turning their hand to a bit of commentary. Will claim he was caught by Cabore, the referee having none of it. Thomason. Cleworth. The flag was already up by the time Smith had slid in on Burgess. Galbraith. Swansea with just 5 wins on the road all season. 11 defeats. That's the most of any club in the top half of the championship table. Winning it and getting the return from Nunes. Wrexham on the retreat. Cabore stops the cross, but it will be a Swansea corner. Another player who's had a really strong start to this game is Ethan Galbraith, combining beautifully there with Nunes. Corner's a deep one, punched out by Okonkwo. Nunes, Galbraith. Oh, it's a lovely ball round the back, the flag will go up. Okonkwo has blocked the effort anyway from Burgess. Well, they might be trailing, but they're playing some beautiful stuff here. Quickly in on him, and that is deemed as a foul. Not convinced by that. Might have been Stamenic actually. O'Brien on set-piece duty. Hoisted high towards Viner. Goal kick. Joined in January from Bristol City, Zach Viner made his full debut for Wrexham in the FA Cup last weekend. His versatility could be a real asset for Phil Parkinson, given the amount of injuries that they've got at the moment. Franco snapping into the challenge. He's so effective at that. Flicked away by Doyle. It's gratefully received by Nunez. Timon into Ethan Galbraith. Key put it into a good area. Galbraith again, right at the very centre of things for Swansea. Doyle pumping it long, and that's useful. Kabore trying to get on the outside. Kabore. Simon stops the cross. As soon as Doyle launched it, Kabore was on the move. I think Josh Timon plenty to think about here. Wrexham looking to double their money. O'Brien's delivery. Will be another Wrexham corner. Played short by Rathbone to Doyle. And Nunez has done well with that. Thomason. Broadhead. No way through that time. Fizz down the line, what a ball. Kabore, Smith has made his move. Couldn't get the connection he was looking for. Cabango was right by him. Maybe that was enough. Figaro being pressed by Smith. Kluwer. Kabore to Rathbone. Kluwer. Just brushes off the challenge of Nunez. And Viner spreads it out to Thomason. Broadhead, really good feet yet again, but Swansea can clear eventually. Stamenic to Galbraith. Really stood out in this first period. He's turned that one away though to Kabore. And Wrexham having a decent spell now. Thomason plays it in flat. Ronald being pursued by Thomason. I think that's an easy one for the referee. Ronald clearly pulled down. Well, this was the opening for Sam Smith. Lovely ball from Kabore. Smith lunging at it with Cabango right there with him. Does get something on it, Smith. Not enough. Good hold-up play for Ronald. And Franco gets buffeted off the ball and then some. Well, he's definitely felt that, the Portuguese. From Callum Doyle. Ouch. That's been excellent though, Callum Doyle. Both defensively and in an attacking sense of late. 3 goals and 2 assists in his previous 10 appearances before this one. But now with some defending to do, along with the rest of his colleagues. Swansea free kick to be taken by Gustavo Nunes. In towards Key. Ronald tussling with Thomason. Good cross, but Potnick stooping low, but heading wide. Again, beautifully worked. It's difficult for Vipotnik. Try and flick it in from there. Dom Hyam watching him very closely. Never ever gives anything up. Timon. Got some help here from Nunes, who gives it away to O'Brien, but there's Galbraith rather. Kabore. Again making a beeline for the box. Outside of the boot, interesting. Sensed an opportunity, took it on. A drop of the shoulder more than once, and then with the outside of the boot, sends it wide off that far post. Galbraith clearly fouled by Viner. Next 2 games for Wrexham in particular feel particularly crucial, especially with the amount of injuries that they've got at the moment. They'll be keen to get to the international break, still in a healthy position, by the other side of that. There may well be 2 or 3 players back, ready and available. They are closing in on a half-time lead, just the 1 minute added. Helped on by Smith. Poked behind by Stamanic. Well, this will surely be the last act of the first half. O'Brien to take. Plenty of loft on it. Free header, a goal, and wide. It was Callum Doyle who got up there. Well, Wrexham not far away from heading to the break. 2 goals in front. As it is, they have a 1-goal lead. The whistle has sounded. And for long periods, a half which Swansea dominated, but you cannot argue with the quality of the goal that separates them, scored by Nathan Broadhead, who showed fabulous feet inside the penalty area. A goal that came not long after Jan Zapotnik had missed a golden opportunity to give Swansea the edge. But at half-time at the Racecourse Ground, it is Wrexham who have the advantage in this Battle of Wales. At the break, Wrexham 1, Swansea 0.
Think of a flower, any flower. They can deliver it anywhere, fast and fresh, making them one of SA's leading florists.
7th placed Southampton. Nathan Broadhead with the only goal of the game in this all-Welsh affair. Swansea dominated that first half a long period. Jan Vopotnik with their best chance, unable to take it, and not long after, Nathan Broadhead took his. And Phil Parkinson could be about to end this long winless run as a manager against the Swans. He will know that one goal is probably not going to be enough on the evidence of what we've seen so far, because Vitor Matos of Swansea have played some lovely stuff. They've found gaps, they've opened them up. They are most certainly well in this. No changes at half-time. And Swansea all in white, ready to get this second half underway. Off we go then. Wrexham leading by a goal to 0. Here's the goal scorer, Broadhead. Doyle. Long by Bigaroo. Hyam wins it. Swansea have only scored 16 goals away from home this season. Only Birmingham and Sheffield Wednesday have scored fewer on their travels. Franco here finds Josh Key. Stamanic. Cabango. Straight through the middle it goes, lovely ball. Oh, Nunes and Vopotnik not on the same page there. Had they have been, they would have been in on goal. Burgess header straight to Rathbone. Stamanic sliding in, Galbraith. O'Brien intervenes. Nudge on Cabore by Nunes. Wrexham free kick. Well, this was an opening for Swansea. And Nunes couldn't find the right ball into Vopotnik. There's Cabango. Stamanic guiding one in towards Vopotnik, flicked away by Hyam. It's a poor clearance from Viner. Timon. In a race with Hyam, and the Wrexham man came out on top. A stumble from Franco, and O'Brien is on his way. Options to his right and left. Broadhead! Looking for his second of the night. Wasn't too far away either. Slip from Franco, opened the door for O'Brien. Broadhead looking to bend it into that far corner. Not quite able to find it. Well, there is Andy Morrell, who scored the last time these two faced off at the Racecourse Ground back in 2002. He scored twice in a 4-0 Wrexham win. Ronald. Napornik. So many in red back there. Flipped into Franco, who takes a tumble. And the referee says no. Oh, Vitor Matos can't quite believe this wasn't given. Hyam is certainly taking a risk. But is there enough force there to warrant a penalty kick? Well, in the mind of Tom Neild, who had a really good view, as you can see, he decides not. Earlier, beaten here by Hull in the week, but they haven't lost consecutive home games for a while now. Let's go back to January, February time of last year to find a pair of successive home losses. Virtually an ever-present this season. He's only missed one league match. Stamenic lets it run. Ronald. Stamenic once more. Seeking out Nunes. Cleworth getting in there. Got the better of Timon. Smith juggles it beyond Cabango, work to do, and on the cover was Josh Key. Good anticipation there from the Swansea right back. Too much on that for Franco. Broadhead trying to go on the outside of Cabango. Who's looked so good with the ball at his feet, and he finds another gap. He's made the step up the championship. Football looks so easy, you think, Galbraith, after a successful couple of years with Leyton Orient. Potnik hovering around that penalty spot area with intent. Cabango. Stamenic. Rolled inside for Ronald. Further wide, Timon. Hyam stretching. Just the right place there, Dom Hyam. Had to make that his because Potnik was waiting to pounce. Cleworth attempting to stride out from the back, had his run curtailed by Nunes. pretty sure he would have told his team to continue playing in the second half as they did in the first half, because the opportunities no doubt will come. Rathbone there to pick up the bits. Thomason's cross, threatening to reach Smith. Doyle. Oh, beautifully done by Stamenic. To slide that through for Ronald. And Doyle sees it behind. Joined this season, Callum Doyle, for £7.5 million from Manchester City. And Jim Popotnik there, being linked with several clubs at the moment. And no surprise, given his goal-scoring record this season. Rangers have been strongly linked with him as Wrexham come forward with Broadhead. Cabore. Cleared by Stamenic. Broadhead again. Here's Rathbone. And Vigouroux was there guarding that near post. Galbraith unflustered by the presence of Rathbone. Fixtures coming up. Swansea face the top two in their next three. Coventry at home next. They'll get a visit from Middlesbrough either side of an away trip to Sheffield United. They would dearly love to leave here with something in their back pocket, given what's to come. Key. Ronald to his right. Galbraith calling for it. Timon. Franco. Clever run from Timon. He applauds the pass from Franco. So does his manager. We are going to see some Swansea changes in the not too distant future. Now Koué and Cullen waiting in the wings. Doyle. Franco getting in there to pinch it back for Swansea. To be a triple change made by Vitor Matos. Omji Sung is coming on, and Ronald is one of those going off. Malik Yalkoué has come on with Franco departing, and Liam Cullen is on for Gustavo Nunes. Liam Cullen, who scored a glorious goal last weekend. An audacious lob from almost at the halfway line against Stoke. His last two goals, incidentally, have come from the bench in the 95th minute against Preston to earn a 1-1 draw, and in the 92nd minute last weekend to make the point safe against the Potters. who's looked a cut above at times in saying that. Failed to make a 5-yard pass. Boré blocked up by Timon, and the Wrexham fans have not taken too kindly to it. And those Swansea supporters gesturing towards Boré, feeling that he's making more of this than he should be doing. Took place right under the assistant's nose, that. Phil Parkinson will want to see more of Boré having a run at time, and he did so on several occasions towards the back end of the first half and caused a few problems. Josh Windass there, getting ready for action. Looks as though he'll be joining us shortly. Boré will be okay to continue. Gone with Wrexham on course to win a 6th successive home meeting with the Swans. Haven't conceded in the previous 3 either. On. Rathbone keeping a close eye on him. Oh, he's done brilliantly. Just couldn't find the right cross. Put it straight on the head of Cleworth. Down by Cullen. They found a way out, and O'Brien is taken down by Yalkoué. The card, first of the night, and Malik Yalkoué, having only been on the pitch a few minutes, is now in the book. On loan from Brighton. Didn't get too much of a look in under Alan Sheehan, the previous Swansea boss, but has seen more game time under Vitor Matos. Away by Cabango. And Wrexham, for their part, will be looking to make the most of this opportunity tonight. They've got 3 successive away matches to follow: Watford, Sheffield United, West Bromwich Albion. Only 3 home games remaining after this one. Well, what a position for them to be in. And on course to tighten their grip on 6th position. Throw. Good hassling from O'Brien. Rathbone showing interest. Thomason. Clattered away by Key. to impose themselves as much on this second half as they did on the first. Well, that's a cheap giveaway as well. Key is there on the stretch, and it's picked up by Cullen. Galbraith. Key. Gabango. Key, nicely done. Cullen. Galbraith to clip it in there. Cleworth's header out, and there's Staminic. Excellent save from Okonkwo. Sharp reactions from the Wrexham goalkeeper. Sharp reactions too from Staminic. A snapshot from him. Caught that so sweetly. That's a great effort, matched by an equally good save. Holmes corner, a swing and a miss from Kabore. Timon. Yalkue gets the shot away, always rising. Oh, it wasn't far off actually. Got his first goal for the club last month and a 4-0 success against Sheffield Wednesday. And a former Sheffield Wednesday player is now stepping on the pitch in Josh Windass, and it's Nathan Broadhead who's going off. And his first half goal is the one that continues to divide these two. Really well taken. It wasn't good defending from Cameron Burgess. And Josh Windass will slot into that number 10 position alongside Ollie Rathbone. And Windass straight into the heat of battle. Burgess takes it from him. Taking the high road. Eight shots apiece so far. 2 on target for Wrexham, 3 on target for Swansea. Much more even since the resumption. Grateful for that Broadhead goal to settle them down, because before that it was Swansea firmly in command. That's won by Windass, now Smith. Thomason. One for O'Brien to chase. Gathered by Vigouroux. exactly been prolific on the road in terms of getting goals this season. Swansea, as I mentioned earlier, just 16 on their travels, have actually failed to score 7 times away from South Wales, and failed to hit the net in 2 of their last 3 away trips as well. Still plenty of time for them to change that. Trying to release on Ji-sung. O'Brien, followed all the way by Stamanic. Kluwer. Grace. Really wrapped that into the feet of Vopotnik. He's barely had a touch in this second period as Windass tries to get Kabore on the move. Poked into touch by Ji-sung. Windass. Good ball. Thomason. Lofted in by Doyle. No one there. He played in Norwich's 5-1 win against Swansea in January of last year. Callum Doyle and Josh Windass there, hoping to follow in the footsteps of his father Dean, who played in the Premier League at Bradford, Hull and Middlesbrough. Could well find himself there next season, Josh Windass. And that was sloppy again from Swansea. Here's Rathbone. Windass. Kluwer. Flag raised on Josh Windass. Stamanic, former Nottingham Forest player, didn't actually play a first team game for Forest. He spent last season on loan at Olympiacos. Now it's the Brighton loanee, Alcue. Cabango. Given away again. They've been careless in this second half in possession, Swansea, much more so than the first, where their passing was eye-catching, it was slick, it was crisp, and ultimately was reaching its intended destination, but quite the same story in this second half as Rathbone goes long up to Smith. Well, there is a free kick, but there was no sign of a flag from the assistant on that far side, and Cameron Burgess is just making the point. And another change to be made here with Melker Vidal coming on for Marko Stamanic. So the Swede is with us. Player who has flourished under the new manager after a slow start in South Wales. touch from the boot of Okonkwo. Back to 1994, behind Swansea's last goal at this ground. John Ford finding the back of the Wrexham net. It did come in defeat. And the current Swansea team have around 15 minutes to try and get themselves back in this. Galbraith seeking out Vidal. Timon. Galbraith. And Okonkwo will get his hands on that. On Galbraith, lovely ball. On delivering, Hyam heading away. Ji-sung on the launch pad here. Comes back his way. Back for Key. Rathbone. Oh, they're appealing for handball and the referee agrees with those claims. And he might have a decision to make here. Well, he's already made it. The yellow card is out when those in red wanted the colour to be red. Josh Timon in the book. Windass would have been away, but I don't think he makes a deliberate attempt to handle that, Josh Timon. But you can see on the right of your picture, Phil Parkinson sprinting to the edge of his technical area. I think it's pretty obvious what he was calling for. And Windass looking to get in behind Gabango. Galbraith, Yalkue being hassled by O'Brien and fouled by him. Vidal. Timon will not get to that. They just not have the same spark about them in this second half, Swansea. Wrexham have certainly stepped things up from their point of view in this second period. They had to. There's no way they could continue in the same vein as they did in the first half, despite going to the break a goal to the good. Too much of Vidal. Now Kabore can stretch those legs. Windass making his move in there. Smith likewise. Rathbone arriving as well. And it's nodded behind by Burgess for a Wrexham corner. gets moving like that, Issa Kabore. The jam-packed 6-yard box, the corner is short. O'Brien gets it back from Windass. Rathbone might fancy a strike. Never troubling Bigaroo. Well, he's not in the business of scoring tap-ins, Ollie Rathbone. That is for certain. But that was well wide of the mark. 10 to go of the 90. Cullen. Clipped by Kabore. Inching ever closer to 3 huge points. And his first ever win as a manager over Swansea. 9 failed attempts so far, including that League Cup final defeat with Bradford many years ago. On puts it in there, Cabango keeps it alive. Vidal, Key, Timon, through the traffic it goes, and Yalkue belts it wide. Well, they certainly got the break of the ball here, Swansea. Vidal into Key, back for Timon. And Yalkue coming onto it, unable to hit the target. On his left foot, and screwed it well wide. Leo Valta has been introduced. Josh Timon has gone off. That yellow card that he picked up a few moments ago might have influenced the decision of Vitor Matos. Bit of a problem here for Josh Key. Nothing that will trouble him too much by the looks of it. On by Yalkue. Pretty aimless, really. Against Sam Smith. Cabango. Been much better against the ball in this second period, Wrexham. Galbraith has looked so polished in midfield yet again. Valta. Hyam heads for touch. And Bailey Cadamartri is going to get a taste of this. Joined at the end of the January window from Sheffield Wednesday, and Sam Smith will go off. So having made his debut as a late sub in midweek, he's on from the bench again, Bailey Cadamartri. Has scored against Swansea before with his former club a couple of years ago in a 1-1 draw. Yalkue up to the Potnik, who has gone down clutching his face after a challenge from Doyle. He gets a little cut around the ear, but I'm sure he needed to go down as he did. Well, this puts Swansea in a decent position. Inside the last 5 minutes. Song with this free kick. Really disappointing, what a waste. Particularly at this stage of the game. That has stayed in. Lovely flick up the line from Yalkue. Cabango. Josh Key, closed down by Thomason and losing out to Thomason. O'Brien feeding Rathbone. Rathbone stands it up there. It evades everyone. But Kabore is on it on the opposite side. Over it comes. Oh, Kadamatri got contact on it. O'Brien. It's clumsy from Valter. Swung over that ball and Kadamatri made a mess of the header. Thomason. Inviting cross in there! Rules the racecourse tonight. Wrexham are going 6 points clear of Southampton in 7th. Callum Doyle makes absolutely sure of the points. Thomason's ball in, and bang in the middle of the crowd was Doyle. Got his head to the ball. Took a horrible nick as well off Liam Cullen. And there's no doubt as to who is claiming it. It's Callum Doyle. The two Hollywood owners very, very happy at the sight of that ball hitting the back of the net. And listen to the noise in this place now. And Swansea's wretched run away from home and on this ground in particular will continue. Potnik, who's been nothing more than a passenger really in this second half. Not all his doing. Service has been sadly lacking. Cullen, the unfortunate one, has gone down as an own goal. Let it run for Calamatri. Might be more in this yet for Wrexham. Not a convincing header from Vidal. Cabore. Vidal and Cabore involved in quite the battle over there. And it's not over yet. Well, it is now, and Vidal throws Cabore to the top. No quarter given there, that's for sure. Five additional minutes being played. Perfect response to the midweek disappointment here against Hull City. They wanted to exact their revenge as well after losing the reverse fixture in the manner that they did. That Arthur Okonkwo error that led to Alameda tapping in for a 90th minute winner. Well, they've got their revenge tonight. Yalkue, Valtar, thumped away by Heim. He's been really good in the middle of that back three. Leave it in by once more. Cabore wins it. Racecourse in full voice. Couldn't bring it under his spell. Cleared by Cabore. Calamatri. Couldn't get hold of it, but he is a striker who likes to play on the shoulder. He's very busy. Valta. Steered wide for O'Brien in the way and hacking it clear. Valta. Here's Key. Into the Botnik. He goes down rather theatrically inside that penalty area. Referee not fooled. Yalkue, that breaks for him. Here is the Botnik. Almost an own goal from Callum Doyle, but Okonkwo has been right at the top of his game tonight. See it again here. Om's cross. Okonkwo didn't know too much about it. Swansea corner. Cabango wins it. Windass gets it away. Vidal. O'Brien.
Hey, it's got to be a fucking foul!
Time almost up. And there it is. In this Battle of Wales, North triumphs over South. Hollywood beats hip-hop. Phil Parkinson, for the first time as a manager, gets the better of Swansea at the 10th attempt. And Wrexham increase their grip on 6th position in the table. Nathan Broadhead with a smart finish in the first. An own goal from Liam Cullen in the second does the trick at the racecourse for Wrexham. Swansea, the better side in the first half, but trailed at the break. Wrexham stepped it up in the second and got their reward. 3 hard-earned points. And the racecourse is alive tonight. The racecourse is red tonight. Jan Vapotnik with a big chance at 0-0 in the first half, which he couldn't take. And soon after, Nathan Broadhead took his. And Swansea's wretched run on this famous old ground continues. More delight for Wrexham, who will win here this evening by 2-0.